Hi, I'm Rob McGibbon, and today I'm meeting Felix Denis. Or rather, I'm not meeting Felix Denis. I'm here in his amazing London apartment. I've been here for about an hour and a half now, and there's no sign of Felix. In fact, he's over the road in Sartoria having a very long liquid lunch. So I'm not quite sure how long we're going to get. The last time I met Felix, I interviewed him for 4.5 hours. But now I'm not so sure what's going to happen. Well, I'm still here and still no sign of Felix. But maybe I can tell you a bit about him. He's one of Britain's most prolific and super rich publishers of magazines. He's also a prolific poet and a prolific planter of trees. Well, I'm still here and still no Felix, but I thought I'd do a bit of essential reading before the great man arrives. Felix Denis, welcome to Access Interviews.
Thank you.
Obviously, I know quite a bit about your background, business, poetry, publishing, everything, but could you just give me your own sort of potted biography, if you like, off the top of your head, so for the people out there that don't really know that much about you? Who are you and what do you do?
South London boy. I'm a poet. I'm a magazine publisher and a planter of trees. That's what I do.
Working from the trees, but how many trees have you planted so far? And
I don't know how many, but this year we'll plant another 250 or more acres of British broadleaf native trees, and that's many thousands of trees.
This is the Forest of Denis, yeah?
That's right, and we just keep adding every year. Keep on putting them in the ground. There's been enough talking about planting trees in England, and there hasn't been enough planting.
And is this one of the more positive things you've done with your money, would you say?
Well, I would say they're all positive, but not viewed necessarily by other people's standards. I think all the things I did with my money were positive. Even the negative things, I learned something from them. But yes, this is one that I think most people would feel able to defend without any contradiction. They could defend this without any contradiction. I could defend it all, but I accept that there would be many people who would contradict my defence.
On the negative things that you did with money, that was still positive. What things are you referring to?
It's amazing how journalists always want to get onto the negative things in 5 seconds. Jordan, can we talk about your tits now? You guys are all the same, man. You know, for all you know, Jordan really has a PhD in philosophy, but you're not interested. You just want to talk about her tits. Okay. So I suppose you're talking about drugs and sex and rock and roll.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, there was plenty of that for many years. A lot of drugs, a lot of sex, a lot of rock and roll. You know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of beautiful whores. You know, wonderful journeys all the way around the world, all needless. Wasting money, massive scale, totally misbehaving. Probably 12 years or something.
12 years. From what year to which year?
Well, I stopped really misbehaving about sort of 8 or 9 years ago now. Totally stopped. So I go back 12 years from that and you'll have a good start. So I guess you've got to go back through to the 80s, haven't you, really?
Mm. What kicked it off?
Well, I earned a lot of money and didn't know what to do with it. Soon found out. Got a lot of advice from Las Vegas.
Is there a day that you look back and that's when it began? Was there a particular part?
I can't remember the day, but no, it's the day you walk into shops and just buy something, you don't even look at the price. You don't even care what it is. You don't care what the price is. They couldn't charge you enough money, wouldn't matter.
What sort of money did you have at that time then? When you,
I think over that 12 years I spent about $100 million.
on partying?
Yes, basically.
Can you just
And worse than partying, some of it. But, you know, I think that's what I did, about $100 million. I mean, it's not overly excessive in the end.
I've done something similar myself, I think, over the years.
Well, I'm delighted to hear it.
What does $100 million buy you in terms of parties?
Just about anything you want. I think it does buy you. But it will kill you in the end. You know, I mean, excessive ingestion of narcotics of any kind, and the constant wear and tear of, beautiful young women and messing about. I mean, it will, even though I've got the stamina of an ox, I mean, it will kill you in the end. There comes a point at which, doctors and, come and say, and, if you go on like this, you are doomed, you're shortly. You got to start listening to them in the end. You know that you can't take anymore because it's relentless. It never stops.
Did it make you happy?
No. It's fantastic fun though. I'm not going to apologise for it. You're not going to get me to apologise. I'm not apologising for it.
I wouldn't want you to.
It was really stupid, and it was not a clever thing to do. And it would have been better if I hadn't done it. But I'm not going to apologise.
Can you give an indication of what sort of degrees of whatever you were doing and an illustration? Make everyone jealous.
Oh, you'd have a night in, Hong Kong or New York City, you get about a dozen beautiful young girls around, get a few guys, I suppose, what with the restaurants and the gambling, paying the girls, the drugs, staying up for 24 or 36 hours, I suppose you'd spend $100,000. Everyone would have a great time.
Yeah. And
hell of a hangover.
what would you think your bill was for the ladies, for the hookers?
I can't even remember. I don't know what it was. Millions and millions and millions of dollars went into these young ladies' pockets or knickers. And wonderful. You've got to earn a living too, man. I mean, it is the oldest profession. It's not like I invented it.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
Was there one standout girl that really stays in your memory?
There are a number. And I hope they all become incredibly respectable grandmothers. And you know what? I think some of them will become highly respectable grandmothers. And good luck to them. I had a wonderful time. I shouldn't have done it. It was really stupid. It's no way to behave. It's an abuse of money. It's an abuse of your health. It's kind of foolish. But I did it. I'm not going to apologise for it. I didn't harm anybody but me. But I wish I hadn't done it. Because it was a huge waste of a massive amount of time. Even though occasionally it was tremendous fun. But if I had my time over, would I do it again in that way? No.
Really?
That was just stupid. It was stupid too. I'm serious, it was stupid. There's no need to do that, that's just daft.
In terms of quantities, sort of how many women did you sleep with and how much coke? Last question on the Positive Times.
The last question, from journalists, when did you stop beating your wife? I don't know, 1,000 women, something like that. Christ knows.
And how many kilos of coke would you say?
I wouldn't even know.
But are we talking
I bet you
kilos?
couldn't carry it with both arms. Look, it's over, brother. It's gone. It was done a long time ago. Whatever it was is whatever it was. I don't recommend anybody do that. I think they should get wise and stop it and pack it up. Like I did, and get something more interesting to do with their life. It's all very well other people being voyeuristic and want to know about it and all that kind of stuff, but in the end it ain't very clever. It's not very good, and it really wrecks your health, and it ain't good, brother. I mean, not in the end. There are parts of it that are wonderful and that make people very jealous to hear about. But in the end, you know, taken as a whole, it ain't good, you know. No, and I'm serious. You know, it really isn't. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was foolish. I knew I should have stopped 5 or 8 or 9 years before. I was tired of it. It was worthless.